Um, yeah, I don't know what this series is going to be called. uh, this is going to be a series on writing a backend piece. Your data adapter, a database adapter, I guess is the right way to say it. So that's what this series is about: is writing a database adapter. We're going to be using a new database. We're not using any of the ones that I already have, so please ignore the ones I already have. All right, so I'm using SQL Server as my Microsoft SQL Server management studio as my kind of go-to. Um, I've used it before. This is the first time in any of my series that I mention it, but this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to create a generic database, um, a generic logging database. So that's what this is going to be about. So we're going to be writing a database that stores logs from the programs, and then the programs will log stuff here. So like, it's interesting. So what's going to happen here is like we need to create a table that holds log data. So what we're going to call this database is the logging database, for lack of a better phrase for it. Okay. Um, so let's go to our tables. There shouldn't be any tables. We're going to do a new table. Um, what do we want to have as our logging stuff? Well, first off, we need a log ID. And this is going to be the prime. It's going to be an int type. It's not going to be nullable. We want this to be our primary, and then we also want it to be. I can't remember what the phrase is for it. It'll auto increment. So. Description, condensed, default value binding. Oh no, that's not what I want. Deterministic full text specification. Oh, there we go. Identity specification. This we want that to be, or that one. That's the one. Is identity. What that does is it makes it so it increments every time and it's automatic, so you can't actually assign to it. So we want our log ID. The next thing we're gonna do is, we want to know what class or what program is sending in the log. So we're gonna do a host. This is gonna be a varchar. We want to let it be up to. Oh, we'll do 25. 25 is pretty long. Again, not nullable. We want to know what class called the log from that same. Oops. We want that to be 25 as well. So from the program that called it, we want to know what class that called it, and we want to know what method or function called it as well. Okay, so those are the main things. We want a message, which is going to be varchar max. So we want to know what the message is that the log is throwing. We need a priority, so we know if it's an error message. I think we'll do 15 for that. Also not nullable. I'm going to organize this up here just because I want to make sure that it's up there. We want a date time, so log date. What else would we want? What else would we want to keep track of? We can just Google, I guess. Logging information. Activities, operations, application server, device. I think that's pretty much it. We'll have the message for generic. Yeah, I don't see anything that really strikes me as important. So this will be our main logging thing. So we're going to do that as general logs. Okay, so that's what our table is going to be. It's going to be called general logs. So if I refresh this and then go into the tables, you'll see there is a general logs table. So I'm going to want to keep this information available so that way I can build the class out in my adapter. Excuse me. I need to make a login for the bot or for the database or the adapter. So the login name, we're gonna just do this logging service as the name. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's make the password be okay. Oops. Okay, and so we should be able to go in here to properties. Connection properties? Nope. I think I need to go into this one then. Users. User. Oh, no. How did I do that? I forget how I did that. Roles, database roles, blah, 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 certificate symmetry. Security policies? Nope. It's gotta be in here. It's gotta be in users. I think I just screwed up. New user. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Default schema. Securables. I think it's here. This is what I'm looking for. Specific objects. So what I'm looking for. Oops. Cancel. What I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that should be that. I still will need to get a connection string. Now, if I can remember how to get to the connection string. I know a better way to do it. I'll just get it out of my other class or my other function for speed. Okay, so we're making a new project. Okay, so we've got our database set up. We're going to make our new project. Our new project is going to be another API. So the web API, it's the same thing. .NET Core web API. We want to make sure it's C#, but we can do RESTful stuff. So yep, that's what we want. This is going to be our adapter. Logging. Okay, boom, boom, boom. .NET 5. Authentication type again, none. Good to go. While this is booting up, I'm just going to pull that. So that way I can get my connection string out of my other project. I'll just pull that off to the side here. Okay, pull that off to the side here. Okay. As before, this is an API, a RESTful API. If I haven't mentioned yet, this should be coming after the Pokey API 7. Now, it's not going to be directly tied with the Pokey API series, but the Pokey API series will use this. So this should come if you're watching this to link in with the Pokey API. You should watch this before you watch part 8. Okay. Anyway, as before, we don't need the weather service class. We're going to get rid of that. We have our startup, our program. We don't need the weather forecast controller. So we should have our program and our startup. I don't use the app settings JSON file at all, so I'm not going to use it. Okay. So starting here, we want to create a new add controller. We're going to add an MVC control, an API empty controller. We want to name it logging controller. We'll do basic logging controller. Okay. And I'll let it name it, or I'll let it class itself. Okay. Alrighty. You'll notice that it's API controller as the route, and then the API controller here. Again, as before, I use a couple other things. I like to do my produces part here. So what the application produces is always going to be an application JSON in my case. I don't usually produce anything else out of my controllers. Oops. And then I also like to notate it. Okay. Give me 1 second as I grab my I don't have it in that. I have to grab it from a very different project because I haven't used the database in any of my other projects. Sorry, pulling up one of my private projects. 1 second. Come on. Okay. Pull up the notepad. Okay. Shouldn't be that much. Okay, so I keep my environmental variables inside here, which is where we're going to keep our variable, which we're going to call database connection string. And we're going to put that environmental variable there, which is the connection string to that database. All right. So the basic setup is over. I can get started into what's going on here. Okay, so first off, I want to create a database. I want to interface with the database. So I'm going to do data. I can just do DB. This is my DB folder. Inside my DB folder, I'm going to have a folder for context. And then I'm going to have a folder for tables. Tables. If you haven't watched my other video, I do the context because that's what we're hitting is that database. So, oh crap, I need to adjust that. I just realized. And then, so inside that database, you'll have like different tables, and so each table you're going to map to that context. So my context is going to be, in this case, the context that I'm going to map is going to be the logging database. So it'll just be logging, and then, well, actually, it'll be logging context, and then the table I'm going to map to that database is the general logs table. Okay, so I'll get there in just 1 second. I need to fix my connection string. I just realized. Because I'm not actually defaulting to the lolbot catalog. I am defaulting to logging. So that fixes that. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the context. We'll add a new class. Okay. The new class, like I said, is going to be the logging context. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to add some NuGets again. I think I want Microsoft Entity Core and API probably. Sorry, I'm setting this up. So we're going to do DB context options, which is going to be the the logging context options extends from base, and we're passing options. Don't ask me exactly what that does. I just know that it passes options for dependency injection. Which is what I use to connect to my database because of that connection string. Yeah, so like I said, we're going to add some NuGets here. The main NuGets I want is Microsoft Entity Core. So that's Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. Microsoft. Let's spell this right, huh? Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. And we want that one. And we also want abstractions. I think there's one more. Which one? Give me 1 second to pull up. There's one more that I think I want. I think it's like SQL or SQL Server, I think is the one. Framework Core, SQL Server. while I'm here, I also want extensions configuration. So I want not abstractions though. I just want logging abstractions. Extensions dependency injection. Okay. Extensions hosting. I don't know if I need hosting. Oh, I do want hosting. So hosting abstractions or just hosting? It's just hosting. I want system drawing. Which one is that one? Provide. Oh, I do need that one. Okay, so system dot data dot SQL client. I think that's all the ones I need right now. If we need more, we'll come back. Just off the top of my head. So we should be able to do it using here. Yeah, using Microsoft Entity Framework Core. What's going on with this? Add null check. I do not want a null check. I don't think I need anything else. Public. I don't need anything else. Login context. DB context. Wait, what? The type adapter cannot be used as parameter type in the generic type method. There is an implicit reference conversion from context.logging context to framework core.db context. What? The type adapter cannot be used as type parameter. I wonder if it's because of I don't understand what it's trying to tell me here. There's a there's an implicit type conversion. Add null check. No. Signature. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me go get my startup ready. Oh, I'm gonna have to log in for this one. Give me 1 second. I'm working on that. I think I do it here. Can't remember exactly how I want to. Pulling up my reference material right now. Zoom in again. Okay, let's see. I want to inject it right. The context option. Container builder? Oh, but that's not going to work because I don't have a container builder. I'm not using AutoFac. Okay, let me pull up trusty tool Google. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a DB context injection in startup. They do it in configure services? Okay. That'll work. I can do it in services. So what we're going to do is services dot add db context. We are adding in the db context for logging context. And then this is where we do our, oh, I need a adapter. Okay, and then this is where we do our options. Options. Options dot use SQL Server. Yes, there it is. Then we want configuration. We don't need that. We need environment dot environment dot get environment variable. The environment variable we have is db connection string. And I think we want to do this as transient. Maybe not. Do I can do it here, I guess. SQL server options action. Not that one. I want that one. SQL options. We want enable retry on failure. What that does is if it fails to insert the log to the database, it will try again. We also want, this is where I want to enable service lifetime transient. What that does is it makes it so that way, like, if something else tries to call it, it doesn't, it creates a new instance when you try to call it a second time, if something else tries to call it a second time. Between conversion from logging.db.context to Microsoft Entity Framework Core DB context. Am I missing something here? Oh. Almost forgot. That's what that error is. I didn't extend from DB context. Pretty simple once I think about it, right? Okay, so we've got our connection injected here. Okay, so now we have our context set up. So now we're connecting to the database, but we don't have anything set up for the tables. So what we need to do now, is go to set up. Well, we need to tell it to db set public. It's virtual. That's what it is. Virtual db set. What this does is it tells it this table that we're going to make is part of this context, this database. So the table that we're building is we called it general logs. So that's what the table is going to be called. We want to name this the same. Okay, logs. And then we're going to do a get set here. We want to do a using. The using that we're going to use doesn't exist yet. I will create it in just a second. So what we're doing is adapter.logging.db. And this is the new part, tables. Tables doesn't exist yet, even though the folder's there. There's nothing that has that namespace. So up until now, when I do this, it doesn't exist. So general. As soon as I do that, you'll notice these two should clear up. Okay. This is an object containing data from a row in the logging table or database. Okay, and the fields here that we had was public int log ID. Okay, we had a public. This is varchar, but we're going to convert varchar is a string, which is priority. Public string host public string class string method public string message. Wrong one. And then public date, time, date, log, date. Now this is where I'm going to do a little bit more than what I've done in some of the other classes that I've built. I'm actually going to create assignments. So, for example, this one was a key in the database, and it's called log ID in the database, and in the database it's an int. So this part needs to match exactly what's in the database. We are using system component annotations and system component schema. So let's comment stuff just because it's good practice. So this is the ID of the log being in the table. Okay. Oops, that's not what I want. We'll do this real quick. These ones are not keys, so I don't need to do that. Okay. So this one was priority level of the log, I guess. We're gonna do this here. Let's do this on all of them real quick. Okay. And like I said, these have to match exactly what's in the database. So when we created it, this one was a varchar 15, literally exactly like that. So we'll do that. All of these were varchars except for the very last one, which is date, time, all lowercase. Okay, now this one, oops, screwed something up here, didn't we? I need a quote here, I think is what I need. Oh, I see what happened. That could have been an error. Okay, anyway, so the first one was 15, then we did 25, 25, 25. And then the last one was max in caps as such. Okay, so those are all set up. We just need a comment on them. So program or application creating a log. This one is the class of the application that called log. This is the method in the class that called log. These are all very self-explanatory, but I do want to make sure there's a summary on them. Okay, so this is the date log was created. Okay. The reason why I do this is to match it up to the database exactly. So, and that's all we're doing on this context and tables. So that should all be done. We shouldn't have any issues there. All right, so now we have our basic logging controller that we need to fill out with stuff. Okay. We should be matched up to the database pretty exactly at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our what's the word I wanted? The controller. We're going to take our controller now, and we are going to build out an API endpoint for connection. Okay, so like other applications can connect to this via the API endpoint. So we're going to start with our standard stuff. We're going to create a region for our fields because we're going to inject stuff here. And region, oops, not if, region. We're going to do a region for our controller, our constructor. Okay. And then we're not going to be doing gets right now. We will do a get method later, but what we're going to do here is our post method because we are going to be doing it's going to be calling a post to post the log into the database. Okay, so that's our basic setup for the controller. At this point, I am at a stopping point for the recording, so I'm going to stop the recording. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, please join the Discord server. We are looking to grow as much as we can, and hopefully you found this content interesting. Hope to see you in the next video.